Hey, all right. So let's all different. Okay. Sorry, I'm talking to myself. I don't know if anybody's even here yet, or no, it doesn't look like it. And if nobody shows up, that's fine. Um, Let me go open up my iPad and go to YouTube. I can follow along. Bonda, hello. Okay, okay. So I'm gonna put my chat instead of top messages. You hit those little dashes up. There's like little dashes up next to that and go to all messages. And I feel like I'm picking. Can you guys hear me okay? Hey, Vonda, can you hear me? Feel like I'm kind of getting a neighbor's, I'm picking up a neighbor's phone conversation with my headphones. Uh, yeah. Uh, okay. My, I have these headphones on and they're noise cancellation and it was my iPad. So, okay. Vonda, BizChat, Lynette. Okay. Nice to see you. This is a fan roll. We've been doing the rolled shirts. A lot of folks have, and this is a fan roll. And you can see my line where I drew my line and rolled on said line. And we'll just do the same thing. This is a pretty fast shirt, and you get really good results too. I love the greens and the purples in this Mindbender X. And if you can hit it just right, you can get some yellows out of it. Um, but you got to be kind of saturation has got to be almost perfect. Like if you overdo it, then you're going to have, I would think you would have greens, reds, and blues. Maybe you might even lose out on some of your reds or some of your greens. Um, I don't know. I haven't went super hard with it yet, but I've used Mindbender X so much. I have just a smidge left and have went through almost 8 ounces in a week and a half. Um, I ordered another pound, not yesterday, but the past Sunday, and it just shipped out today. So they're getting hammered with orders. Gator tie dye, what's happening? Um, so yeah, I don't know if you heard, but this is a side fan roll instead of pleating it, we're gonna roll it. So it doesn't take too long. This is a shirt that I made for myself. This was the first one that I made, and I did one the other day um, for a guy. He sent me some shirts, and did one. It might. I posted it, and I said it might be one of the best tie dyes I ever made. The colors in it were fantastic, man. I wish I had it, but I don't. But that is a shirt that I made for myself, and then I made this. I've made I think 3 of these, I think. And this is a dress that I made for a friend. she wanted one on a live and tell dress, and I really like it. Had really cool results with it. Um, I like the wrinkled look. You can see the wrinkles in it. I can't remember. I don't think there was. I know I've done four because my second cert I used clips to kind of try to keep it tight. Put these clips, these black clips, and put it on the shirt. And it was actually on this side. But put it on the shirt, and then tape this down so it can't move. And I like the results better with not taping anything down. And I've done all four of them. I've done dye under ice. I haven't done any dye over ice. Um, you've been experimenting with some of those yourself, right on. Um, so we'll just draw an arc. We don't have to center our shirt or anything. Just draw an arc and roll it up. We'll fold it in half at the mark and at the thickest point, and add a bunch of dye and a bunch of ice and cross our fingers. But most of them have turned out pretty good. This one's pretty cool. Actually like the center a lot. It I don't even know what you would call it. It's almost like a merry-go-round or something. It's really cool looking. Um, but don't lie, you made the dress. Yeah, I actually did make this for myself. Uh, I'm leaving it at that. I'm not saying another thing, but I love the colors on the inside. So this would be the inside of the shirt, and then you can see the muck lines where it's laying up against the gutter. All right. So this is exposed. This is on the inside of the pleats, the inside of the rolls. And it's really cool. I love the effect. I mean, it's just super cool. And these green and turquoise inside these purple is just super cool. I don't know if you can even zoom in on that or not, but okay, I can sit and talk and stuff all night about tie dye. And uh, Leaf Watson, I don't know if you guys know him. He was driving through yesterday and stopped, and we had a really good chat and learned a couple things that I'd like to try. And he was wearing a shirt that looked really cool, and yeah, it just gave me an idea doing some different ways of wrapping this new and stuff. So, but well, let me pull this up. Make sure my bottom. Sometimes my bottom of this or back of the shirt sits a little higher. You can line these up. Okay, and then I have some rifle cleaning rods that I like to use to kind of uh, pull the shirt tight, stick it up on through the sides, pull out, and I get a nice good starting point. Okay. That if you don't want to support gun companies, which can't blame you. You can always use like dowel rods. I got some dowel rods up at Walmart for cents. They were like 40 cents or something like that. The old blinds, if you have old blinds, the thin thing to open them up, you can stick them out. Yeah, that would work good. Um, so, you don't have to use rifle or shotgun cleaning rods. They're handy, but I understand some people don't want to support that stuff. I get it. So I'm going to draw an arc. And I want it to fall in the middle of my sleeve. So let's see where the best place. That's good. It's not a very big arc. I want to get almost half the shirt. So I might have to come down. And I don't mind. Usually when I do a fan fold, I like it right underneath the armpit. But I kind of want a little bigger of an arc. Or do I? All right. So let's turn her down just a little. We'll move it up there. That's good. So see how you have a crisp shirt starting? It doesn't chatter. It's not like, but I also have a nice marker too that doesn't. I changed it to a brand new black one because I want to be able to try to see the line through my shirt. And that should do it. Good. That's my starting point. So now all I do is roll on it. Easier said than done. This is kind of hectic a little bit. I mean, I start at the bottom. If you start at the top, you're going to have different results. I don't know. I haven't really seen, really done one for starting at the top. I just do them at the bottom. So let's go ahead and start. We'll start on this line, bottom line. And I'm going to keep my fingers about this far apart. I want to try to keep that line in the center of that. Right. And just start. And it's going to wrinkle up. Just go through the wrinkles. Like you can back it out and kind of tighten the shirt. Like I said, I was using clips at the end and taping those down, the springy part, taping it to the cable. Then I kind of have it tight, but man, it was too tight. I didn't really like the results as much. So I can kind of help this right here. And now everything this will come out to like right here. I will try to get it to this one, this end. I'm going to try to get it to stop right here and not go all the way out to the shirt. And you'll see what I mean as I go. We'll just see what happens here. Just roll and let it do its thing. Okay. It's good. I can see my line through my shirt. Really, really good. So that's doing, just let it do its thing there. Just rolling on. Now, once I get up here, I have to like start taking breaks, like just little tiny breaks because it's, it gets really tight. You'll see what I mean as we get going up here through here. Right. And then you can kind of like, okay, keep it tight because if you get it real loose, then it's going to stay loose, just like that. And then this end right out here is going to get loose. This is going to be tight. All right. Just kind of turn it as you go. And here's where it starts. It's a little loose down here. And I'll end up kind of helping it as I get up through here. Okay, now I got to remember, let me turn my hat around. Actually, it doesn't. Yeah. Because I got to remember to keep my head out of the way. I tie dye by myself, and I can just sit right over top of my work and see it. With this, I have to keep my head out of the way. So it's not like I try to take my time and do as good a job as I can, I guess. But if I need to speak up, let me know. I have to kind of do a split here. My table's tall. I have it up on bricks, so I don't have to bend over as much. Okay, so see how this is kind of staying up here? That's where I want it to stay. And as I get going up at the top, start slowing down because I kind of have to help it along. Get it out of there. All right. So I would suggest if you do it, do a do a dark color. Or, that way you can see your line through your shirt. I doubt you can see my line on my shirt here. It's not like I'm like super close. Um, Good. Roll, 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 roll it up. Okay. This one's coming together pretty smooth. There's a lot of times I kind of fight these wrinkles up here. Um, if you could, I can tell it's going to look. It should look pretty good. Like my muck lines, they should look pretty good. Pretty uniform. Almost like somebody said, it almost looks like they were measured out. They're not because I'm rolling this. Leaf. I just mentioned you. Hey, check it out. I'll keep that there. Like I told you, Susan K. Awesome. All right. So since you guys just started, and Leaf, you already know what I'm doing here, which is the side fan roll. Uh, um, so I had my shirt just laid out. I didn't have to center it or anything or mirror image it. Um, I just drew an arc, came down, went up, drew an arc. I tried to keep it in the center of my sleeve, came down, started at this end. This is a soda pop. Um, Started down here, rolled it, kind of helped this. It kind of did its own thing, didn't it? And just rolled it, tried to keep this tight. And everything is actually staying tight. I'm hoping I get a good out. I hope I get good saturation. And I feel like this should be a pretty good shirt. I kind of feel like this is the best one I've done so far. Like, you remember I was saying I want this to stop right here? It's doing it too. You'll get some cool wrinkles, up through here. So just roll it on up. And like I said, what I keep doing is I'm pulling it back to kind of keep it tight. I don't pull it back too hard. Excuse me. I just had dinner with my mother. Um, I go and hang out with her for a couple hours after work, and she's getting to where we don't want her cooking and turning the oven on. So we go out to eat almost every night, which I know is not good for me, but I don't want her cooking. And so we put tape over the burners, over the knobs, just in case she forgets. She got dementia. It's not real bad. She's forgetful, but it's not, but still, we don't want her forgetting turning the burners on because it's gas. We don't want her turning it on and not and forgetting. to turn it off. So, okay, so this is usually where I start kind of having to slow down a little bit. But if you can see, it'll start getting loose, and I just kind of pull it back and keep it tight. Now here's where I might need to help, is I've noticed if I help with this, I can stay on my line a lot easier. Okay, so I keep my hand to the right of the line, actually to the left of the line for you guys, because this is backwards. I'm left-handed. My line's on the right side of my shirt, looking down at it, but on the screen it's left, which helps for right-handed people. I feel most people are probably right-handed. Um, so so kind of help it up here, and you can keep it on the line. Okay. So I'm being kind of slow and meticulous, but I want it to turn out nice. Okay, so this is staying right where I want it. Keep my head out of the way, so do I need to pull it back any? Stay in the camera view. Okay. Yeah, this feels like a pretty nice one. I hope it comes out good. And I'm kind of holding put my hand here, and which I don't know if is a good thing or not, but I'm kind of resting my hand here and keeping it on the line. It kind of helps stay on the line. Okay. I don't want to start getting sloppy now because it's all been kind of tight. There we go. Stay on the line. Keep my head out of the way. I do a split here. Okay. So this is where it starts getting kind of slow, and I have to kind of stand up and take a little break. Hey, Lee Watson and Phyllis Watson. Okay, so kind of slow moving here. Okay. Sorry, I know this is probably kind of boring, you know. Feel like it's kind of boring to it could be boring to watch, but if somebody wants to follow along, it's in real time for them. Okay. That's it. So if you can try to learn something new each shirt, like I've now I just kind of learn I can kind of do a nice little roll, and I can kind of tuck it in there, keep the shirt tight. Um, I mean, try to think of easier ways of doing things. So that's staying nice right where I want it. Let me give my back a break here for just a second. I appreciate the explanation and your thoughts on the method. Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. I have to think out loud. Right? Okay. Come over on the other side of my table here. Yeah, I still see. My head, I always put my head in the way, man, I'm sorry. Okay, alright. Now, now, yes, you can see my line through the shirt. I went to, full screen and zoomed in, and you can see my line through the shirt. That's pretty cool. Actually, I can see it when it's not. Okay, so you can see what I'm doing. I'm just trying to keep that on the line and keeping the shirt tight. Um, to keep it on the line, sometimes I have to work the back end of the shirt to stay on the line. Okay, we're getting there. Okay. I kind of feel at first I thought, I think it's easier and faster than a fan fold. Now I'm like, I'm not so daggone sure it's easier than a fan fold to actually pleat it. I'm so used to pleating. I don't know which is more time consuming and thought, you know, you have a little thought process that you have to kind of go through. And this isn't the easiest to try to stay on your line and keep it, you know. So I don't know. And you can see how it twists and stuff. So it'll have some pretty cool, should have some pretty cool effects in it. All right. Kind of spin it a little bit. Sorry, I probably have my head like I do. I have my head right over it. It's so easy to forget. Okay. And this, I'll tell you, it wasn't easy when I was like using those clips and taping it to the shirt. It was actually kind of tough. Okay. Here's where it kind of like makes you bend. Okay. See, so you're not going to have when I after I bend it, this isn't very long, you know, it's only going to come down to like right there. And it's small. So when me and Leaf were talking yesterday, um, we were talking about Jeffrey. Right on, man. It's nice to see you. Um, I don't know how long it's been since you've been here, but we're doing the side fan roll where we just lay the shirt out, put the arc on it, and then roll on the line. You can see my line through my shirt. I changed to a black marker so that it's easier to see. And now I'm literally at the end of the roll, and you can always go back. Like I said, I'm not sure exactly sure how long uh, you've been here like that. Okay, so I'm going to keep it like that. And you see my line? I'm going to bend it right at that line, just like that. Okay. And then I have these little tiny rubber bands. They almost look like, man, oh, they're there. They almost look like rubber bands for braces, like for your teeth. Okay, so you get one of these. Yeah, see, they're just real little, but wider. I do have some that actually really look like for your teeth. Okay, that's it. So you see how this nub is not near as big around. I'm gonna tuck that in here just to kind of, not gonna keep the dye from flowing anywhere. It's gonna flow underneath it. But me and Leaf were talking yesterday, and we were talking about how the ice, if you're doing a fan fold, it wedges. You just like this, it's real thin, and then it tapers up, and it's a wedge. So if you put the same amount of ice across it, this is going to be more washed out. Like the center could possibly be washed out. Right up here would be nice and saturated, and then down here it's hard to say, you know. But this will can easily get washed out. So you want, if your shirt tapers, then you need to taper your ice. You know, does that make sense? Because if it's only this thick and you have that much ice in it, there's a good chance it's going to look um, pastel looking, washed out, you know? So it's easy to do with this fold because of that. You have to use a bunch of ice up at this end. So I just, I, this last time I lifted it up and made it flush with this one instead of laying it down. I could always probably even, it doesn't matter. It's still skinnier than this. It's going to wash out a little easier. And if you look, it is on the lighter side. Grab this shirt. It is a little more on the lighter side, you know, like right in through here, you know, then out here. All that's flowing down the end of the shirt. So you get nice, good saturation at the end, where the middle and it could be a little more washed out because it's at the end. So I hope that makes sense to you. And Leaf and I were talking about that yesterday when he came through. Man, that was so fun. I wish we had more time. Gave me some ideas of things that I might like to do in the future, and it would involve anybody that ice dyes. I think it'd be fun to kind of get together. Now, the thing is about ice dyeing is it takes a couple days, you know. So I don't know how it would work out, but I guess all tie dye kind of takes a minute to cure and stuff. Okay, so uh Stylish. I don't know if I've met you before, Stylish. Um, no problem. Got here about halfway through. Okay. Did I miss what color you're going to use, Scott? No. I haven't even mentioned it. So of course, wanted to use Mindbender X, but I don't have very much, and I have a couple orders for it. So um, I hate to use it now. The reason I'm not doing the order is because it's on a different size shirt. I don't have any. I need to get some. So um, actually, I did. I did and forgot that I just bought some. So let's get this in a gutter. And I thought I had everything about ready. So where I could just kind of step to the side and grab my gutter and all that. But here's my wash rags that I use as stoppers. Okay, so my incline's going to be like this. So I always put my incline on this side, not the tall side. I don't want the tall side, because this is the tall side, this is the bent side. I don't want, uh, if something happens and I have to walk away from my work, I'm always going to know that I need to incline it this way. I want the rolled edge to be on the left hand side. I hope that makes sense to you. I don't know, but So I'm going to use Mindbender either A or B, I think, and just because I don't have much Mindbender X. I ordered a pound. They said it's leaving today, but and it should take 3 days. I don't know if what kind of time I have. So I'm just going to use one of the mind benders and see what happens, which man, I kind of hate to. And I thought about using strawberry skies, but you have to use a lot of dye. And I kind of want to use a lot of dye on this just to so we get good saturation. Um, it's easy to use too much dye. So let's use my Mindbender B seems to throw out more purple than Mindbender A. Now, I've heard people say the opposite, but I definitely feel like my Mindbender B throws more purple, and I love having purple in it. So let's use Mindbender B, and I have a little bit more of it too, so that helps. And I need to make an order for ProChem. I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to order some here real soon, tonight or tomorrow. Um, if you ever order from ProChem, the Dusties and the Stormies are all good, like Stormy Sky, um, Stormy Gray. Both of those are really nice colors. That's kind of like a toned down Strawberry Skies before Strawberry Skies was a thing. Um, it's a little more on the plumish side. Um, it throws out some cool colors, but it's more on the plum. It's kind of like a plum. And then Dusties, like Dusty Purple and Dusty, what is it? Dusty Purple and Dusty Rose, Dusty Rose, Spicy Plum. Those are nice splitters. And so I'm going to go ahead and use Mindbender B. I'm going to use a lot of dye. And I haven't been adding soda ash at the end. Um, I soaked my shirt for long enough where I feel like I don't need to. I've heard some people say it hinders the flow. I don't know if that's true or not, but I've just been kind of feeling that I'm getting good saturation and stuff about it. I always wear my respirator. I have it hanging from a nail right here. I always wear this. I've just changed the filters of it actually. Um, but with me being doing a live, it would be hard for you to hear me. So we'll you know, this one should be okay. So I'm going to use my Mender B, and I'm going to use kind of a bit of dye, and I'm not going to. I hate to say it's kind of wasteful, but it kind of is. I mean, I get a lot that falls off the sides, especially on this back or this thick fold up here. That's thick, you know. Um, I folded pretty tight on that line, so I have to use a lot of dye. And just take your time and try to do an even amount. That way it's kind of, you know, it's good even saturation. Now this knob isn't going to take as much, but I'm going to have the same amount of ice. There's not a whole lot I can do about that. I mean, I guess I could put more on that side. I mean, I guess it's not a horrible idea. I could totally do that. Just be mindful of where it's at. Okay. And I need to do an experiment. I actually thought about doing two shirts, um, and doing one. Actually, I haven't done a dye over ice with this fold. Um, you have to use a lot of dye. Um, I'm sorry, I say a lot. But I thought about doing strips, like a fan fold instead of just putting it all over the shirt. I think you'd get better flow and better mix. Now see it, there's a little wrinkle right here and I got a lot of dye right there, but that could actually be kind of cool. We'll see. I'll try to remember that. But then again, it's hard to say where that would be. And I always have extra, always have like extra dye sitting on top. And what I should do is start adding more ice. Can you twist it after rolling? Have you ever tried? Twist it like, um, let me think. Hold on, let me think. Like instead of folding it in half, just I literally twist it. I mean, it's no, I've never tried that. That could be really cool. I thought I saw somebody spun it in a spiral, like a cinnamon roll. I can't really remember the results. I don't know. See how much dye I'm using? That's why you can go through if you all you're sitting here is doing these rolls. But I need to tell I feel like I use too much dye. And look at it, I mean, I'm sure I am. But I do get okay splits, you know. I mean, I should have toned it down a little bit down here. So let's I wonder if I can pick any of this yeah, and actually lay it on the side there because this is going to create my mock. It's going to help create my mock on the bottom, all this excess. And I don't incline it real steep, like, I don't know, 20 degrees, not much. You don't need to. You don't need to incline it like super, super steep. Okay, so I use washcloths to put at the end. Now, I'm gonna have to taper my ice down so I don't need as big as a washcloth. Now, the point of these washcloths is just to keep ice from flying out the end when I add it, because I don't just place my ice in there and like real easy. I pour it in there. I don't really, I'm not gentle with it. I never have been. Um, my friend Ken App, he uses like bigger ice cubes and he puts it on like that. If you ever get to see his work or if he ever does, I think he might have I think he does have a YouTube channel. Look him up, Ken Epp, EPP, Ken Epp. Uh, he gets the best saturation from ice dyes because he doesn't overdo his ice. I have to put a, you know, I use a lot of ice, and I remember one time I told him I did like 10 pounds of ice on a double fan fold, and he was like, "Why?" He couldn't believe that I used that much ice. Where he's just putting, you know, and getting great saturation. He lives in New Mexico, so it's always nice and warm down there. Okay, so that's that. So that's just to keep the ice from flying out when I place my ice. Um, Let me pull this off and lid on. If you have time to take it off, you have time to put it back on, huh? You don't want to just sit your lid on there and then pick it up and you just make a huge mess. I learned that from fishing and tackle boxes. You shut your tackle box and don't actually latch the lid, and then when you go to pick it up, everything falls out. Yeah, I learned real quick. If you have time to shut it, you have time to latch it. Okay, so now we're just down to our and I was using I have my own ice maker. I have my own ice maker, and I need new filters on it. My water's really hard. I get a lot of calcium buildup, and it looks, according to with my looks of my tide eye sometimes, but there's probably a lot of chlorine in my water too. So until I get a good filter, an inline filter for the back, I'm just going up to twice. It's called twice the ice. And I get 20 pounds for $2.75, and I've been getting pretty good results with it. It's not as diluted looking. So I really think I had a lot of had a lot of chlorine in the water. So, um, but I have a salad bowl that I fill up with ice, and I pour it in the food. Okay, so I might not have to use it all, but I pretty much fill it up. And this has been in my deep freezer for um, for 2 days. So um, it's not wet. You know what I mean? When I pour this on there, it's not going to be any water, like a bunch of water, and it's not. You're not going to see. You shouldn't be able to see um, a bunch come through the ice. Usually, if I add dye over this ice that's been in my deep freezer for a couple days, the dye sits on top of it. It doesn't. Like if you use wet ice, it's just like bam. It even seems like you don't have to use as much. But I'm going to pour this over the shirt. I'm going to be kind of quick about it. Okay. Okay. Okay, so remember down here, the shirt's not as thick. It's thick up here. And see, I didn't mark, or I totally forgot about that like the little nub, the center of the shirt. But I didn't do it on the other shirt. So we'll see. If it's a little washed out, we'll maybe try to learn from it. It's what me and Lisa talked about yesterday. I was, talking about doing lives and stuff. I want the shirt to turn out as best as I can because I am doing it live. But I also kind of need to show that we definitely make mistakes and we have fails. I don't know if you want to call them fails, but you know. Um, but I kind of need to. Sometimes I kind of feel like I need to have some fails going live. That way I can try to figure it out on the reveal and see what we did wrong or see what I did wrong, and improve it on the next one. So um, maybe sometimes I should do like redemption folds. I have just a little bit of ice left in there, so I filled this up and then it tapers down just a little bit because it's not as thick down here. I don't want it to be washed out, right? But I'm going to add just a little bit more right there. That should do it. Now I'm going to take this up in my attic, and I have let me put my eyes up here. I have these catering pans, like you would put those little burners underneath. Um, Caterers use, and it actually I have a rack that it sits in, but they're upstairs in my attic, and here's the pans, and that's my drip pan. So I would, you know, set this there and then incline it, and I have a cooler, just a nice cooler upstairs. It's probably about that much taller than this pan, and I'll set it in it and incline this up. just like that. And it'll be like 20 degrees. And tomorrow, when I get up, it's hot up there right now. Like I walk up there, my glasses fog up. So this is going to melt pretty fast. It's going to be a fast melt, which I don't mind. I don't mind a fast melt. Um, you definitely get different results with a fast melt compared to a slow melt. I Everybody's different. Everybody has different, you could call it atmospheres in your house or wherever you die. You know, some people die outside. I die downstairs in my basement, and it's usually 67 degrees down here. So if I was to let my ice melt down here, I'm going to get a slow melt. And I've learned in my atmosphere that if I get a slow melt, I don't get the best saturation because I feel like I don't know what it is, but my saturation is kind of piss poor, you know. If I get a fast melt, I feel like I get better saturation. Um, so I don't know, maybe somebody could knows the chemistry behind that, but and maybe it's just me, maybe I'm wrong, hell, I don't know, but okay, so yes, Jeff, absolutely, thank you. Try the 5-gallon bottled water to see how, yes, and see, I need to do that. I was thinking of that today. Um, this, Eric, this was dye under the ice. I had thought about doing another shirt, um, and doing dye over ice, which I guess we could. Um, what time is it? 7:30? I mean, I have time. I don't know. Um, nearly as much as incline. Okay. So was the shirt down? Okay, so hold on. Let me go back. Let me go back here because I'm missing. Um, the twist after rolling, which we talked about that, Eric. Jeff, what degree incline? And I incline mine at about my fan folds and my double fan folds. I incline those at about 17 degrees. I have an app on my phone, and it's like a little angle finder. I think that's what it's called, angle finder, and you can set it on an angle, and it'll tell you what it is. And it's usually my cooler that I use as my incline, um, at the top of my incline. Uh, it usually sits at about 17 degrees, so which isn't steep at all. Um, I've heard people say 45 degrees, and I think, golly, man, that is steep. Um, but I wonder if it's really, I mean, because I thought before I had the angle finder, I thought my ankle was probably 35 degrees, and it's 17. I wasn't even close. So it's hard to say what their angle really is. But my angle is a little bit, it's between 17 and 20, Jeff. Cinnamon roll twist, yeah. Was the shirt damp or dry? The shirt was damp. Um, I uh, I spun it out in my Panda spin dryer for about 45 seconds. It doesn't take much because I'm only doing one shirt. I just throw one shirt in at a time, whatever I'm doing. And and it's not for very long. So, but it's not like that thing spins so fast that it doesn't take but 30 seconds, and it's not that it's almost dry, but I mean, way drier than trying to wring it out, that's for sure. Um, okay, so you try to dip nearly like the rest as much as incline dining. Okay, so try the 5-gallon bottled water. Yes, and I am definitely going to try that. I'm going to order some ice maker cleaner, and it kind of takes all the calcium buildup and hard water stuff and takes it off, which is good for human consumption. So it shouldn't hurt my shirts, and then get a nice filter and try to start over. Um, So, yes, twist seems like it would add more detail. Yeah, I think so too, for sure. You could twist it and then bend it, you know? So should we do a dye over and do because I haven't done a dye over ice with this method, but I'd have to take this upstairs and get it set up and then start another one. And I'd have to, uh, spin out a shirt. It does only take 30 seconds. I don't know. Let me see what you guys say. I'll set this down on the floor. I mean, we've been gone, what, half hour? I started at, no, I started at 6:35, something like that. Um, let me take that crap. Yes, dye over ice. Okay, well, let's do it then. Give me just a minute. I'm not going to turn the machine off. You'll be able to hear me because I have my headphones in. And hopefully, I have an empty drip pan up here. But it's so hot up in my attic that this stuff melts fast. Okay, I gotta shut this door because I have cats and they'll run downstairs. Okay, and my my headphones should go all the way through. Okay, so yeah, I do have one open. So um, let me incline this. Okay, so that's good. That actually looks, that is a little steeper than what I usually do. I have a box and then a sandbag underneath, on top of the box, for like a pop-up tent. And let me take this. I already have one up here. And it also actually kind of looks like I could add some more ice and dye to it. Let me go ahead and take this downstairs. Hope you, I hope you guys can hear me. You better stay out of my way, man. I'm gonna step on you. Nice, man. I, I gotta clean it up or it's not going. It wasn't nice. It splashed out of my pan. And if I don't clean it up, because it's muck water, it's there. Yeah, I was sorry. I wasn't planning on it. I mean, I had thought about doing a dye over ice, but um, and then the people that missed the first shirt will actually get to see the fold. So that's not bad. Sorry, I had to clean that mess up. Leaf saw my basement yesterday. Whew. Oh, it's loaded. I got a lot of stuff, tie-dye stuff down here. Between dye and ice makers and deep freezers and blanks and pools, and it's been going on for uh I think I've been dying for 4 years now. I think. No, I haven't been dying for I've been dying for 3 years. So let me get this washcloth. Sorry, man. I'm sure you guys are like, what the? You sit there and listen to this guy talk. Um, I don't blame you if you do. clothes put in the bucket. Um, okay, so there's there. Um, and a spin dryer, large shirt. Okay. And then I'll mark it on my I'll make a tag off a piece of tape and put dye over ice on it. I might even be able to make a mark on the tag or something. Okay, so I just started it. And what I usually do is I hold it there for a second and let it start spinning. And then my sink gets right off to the side. I'll wash my hands off while it's spinning. And dry my hands off. And then stop it. I don't know, you tell me, 30 to 45 seconds. It's not long. Hold it forward to get the soda ash water out, and then you reuse your soda ash. If you use a washer, it's just going right down the drain. Okay, so my shirt, I'm going to go ahead and flip it inside out, and then I'm going to wash my table off because I just had a bunch of dye on it, and I have these continuous spray. I can see dye water right there. You see that dye? So if I'd have laid my shirt on that, it would okay. Wasn't bad at all. Okay. So always wipe your table off, especially if you have dye. Your dye station's right around your uh stuff. So I flipped this shirt inside out. Uh this was soaked in soda ash for I don't know. Uh I think this shirt was actually been in there for a day or two. Um I've left shirts in there for actually a month or better, if not longer. Um, yeah, I mean, heck, I've actually pulled shirts out of the bag that's been over in there in a bag for over a year, and it's still damp. Uh, okay, so here's my rifle cleaning rods, and we're just going to do the exact same process that we did. Okay, we're going to try to do the exact same thing, except we're going to do dye over ice. So I get my bottom square, and I use these rifle cleaning rods, and I can put it up on the sides of the shirt and pull it tight. And I'm just going to pretend that this is the first shirt. I'm just going to talk through it like I did the other one. Okay. So you get a nice crisp starting point. And I might even sit here and say the same things. I don't know. Probably. Okay. So here's my black. Where's my black? What do I do with that? You put this up. It has to be close because no. Oh, here it is. Okay. So uh everybody's still here. Sorry if it was down just a little bit. Let's do that. Okay, so my starting point of your shirt, you can get a nice tight line. And I want this bright so that we can see it through the shirt. Okay, keep your finger on the line. Always keep your finger on the line. And when I'm doing a fan fold, what I do is I would have my line right there, and I do another little one right here. Like that. And since I always have a dot right here because I don't want it to be off center because I'm going to make another long one out here. Like that. And that's how I would do a fan fold. And then I pleat on the middle line, but we're not going to pleat it. We're going to roll it. All right. So then if I was to pleat it, um, and I start moving my shirt around, all my lines are going to be straight. I want all three lines to be straight. I'm happy to watch a second time. I'm doing something awesome. Okay, so what we're going to do is um, we're going to start rolling on the middle line. Okay, and we're going to and remember you can pull your shirt towards you to keep it tight. And this shirt is just a tiny bit damper than the other one. Um, like you remember, you can kind of help that start making its roll, making its turn there. Yeah, like that. That thing will just kind of do its own thing. Okay, so it's like I make a complete roll and then I pull back towards myself. That way it kind of stays tight. And we'll see how this one comes together compared to uh roll no doubt, roll it up. Um uh how this all comes together compared to the first one. Because the first one was nice. It rolled up nice. Everything came together nice and tight. And it kind of looks like this one might be the same. Okay, and then as we get going, you'll be able to see the line through my shirt a little better. So see how this thing kind of just does its own thing. Yeah. And then like we did want it on the first one, I want it to stop here, right under the seam of the armpit. Okay. So just roll, and you can see your line. You can see your line through the shirt. And as we get going up through here, you'll be able to see my line through the shirt. I don't know, you might be able to right now. If I full screen, yeah, if I full screen and zoom in on it, I can see my line. So that's a pretty cool feature. And after you zoom in, you can move it around so you can be close up. Okay. Uh, no, no problem, Dana. No problem at all. Uh, okay. Roll it on up. Okay, so just roll it on the line, pull back every now and then. And I kind of like tuck it in, you know what I mean? And try to just keep it tight, keep everything tight. I should do it and just keep everything loose and see what happens, you know? I mean, experiment, you never know. Okay, so that is kind of need a little help there to stay on the line. Yeah, I like having the black line and you can see through the shirt really. So I'm just going to try to go a little quick with this one. I took my time. That's the first one. And this shirt is just a tad bit damper, more damp, and I like it. When I first started tie dyeing, I felt like I had the best saturation that I ever had when I first started doing fan folds. And I didn't have a Panda spin dryer, and I used my washer in the spin cycle. I remember I had to a little bit of water would come out, and I'd dry the water out of it with a towel, and then throw my shirt in it and spin it. And it didn't. It was more than wringing out, but it wasn't like the Panda spin dryer, even at 30 seconds. And sometimes I wonder about just turning my Panda spin dryer on for like 15 seconds and stopping it and folding it up and keeping it a little more damp than what I'm used to. Because you remember, I mean, look at this, it's staying on the table. You remember how much I was fighting that on the first shirt? And if I can, I mean, it's staying tight. So I might, but maybe it's just, let me keep my head out of the way. Sorry. I remember me and Steph would go live. She would always be like, "You gotta keep your head out of the way." I know, I know, I forget. I don't make videos as I tie dye way more than I make videos. You know what I mean? I tie dye every night, pretty much. Pretty much. I mean, I take breaks and don't want to tie dye for, especially like during the winter. After winter and spring comes, forget about it, man. I want to hang it up for a while, you know, and I usually do because I've been down here all winter and it's nice out. Now I want to go like play some golf. I work at a golf course, so I want to go play golf and play for disc golf or frisbee golf, whatever you want to call it. And I try to stay active, you know. Um, so so just kind of help it along. And this is going to be the dye over ice shirt. And I wonder, have a let me put a cut. I'm gonna put a cut on this tag because I think most people are going to tear them off anyway. But I'm gonna put a cut right up the gilding on this small little heavy cotton tag. This is a gilding heavy cotton. So I put a little cut right there so we know that this is the dye over ice. So I'm not even gonna worry about tagging it. I just did. And we'll use Mindbender B, of course, so we can see the differences. And I'm going to have to go kind of heavy with it because so it is, I mean, it is staying on the table a little better than, I mean, I can actually see a little bit of dew-like stuff on the table. So what do you guys think? My Mindbender B pulls a lot of purple. I usually do dye under ice, so I'm interested to see yours. Okay, see, I said the same thing. My Mindbender B throws a lot of purples. I've heard other people say their Mindbender A does. I don't know. It's just weird how everybody gets different results, you know? And it's our atmosphere. You know, it's so weird that um, the differences between liquid dyeing, ice dyeing, and hot water irrigation. It's crazy the differences, you know? Um, because I could do both of these shirts side by side and do them the exact same way, and I'm not going to get the exact same results, you know, because of my the temperature in my house and my dye. I might be a little heavier handed on one shirt compared to the other. The dye might fall off of my spoon differently. I might use more ice or less ice. I might incline one a little higher than the other. I mean, there's just so many variables with ice dyeing. So you just have to learn what works best for you. I mean, everybody's place is different. If I would have went to Leaf's house, and so if it was opposite, if I would have went down to Florida instead, who's to say what my results would be like? You know what I mean? Hard to say. It could be really freaking good. I mean, who knows? I mean, so you just got to kind of learn what works best for you when it comes to ice dyeing. And experiment. Don't be afraid to experiment and don't be afraid to fail because if you don't fail, it's hard to learn. You learn from mistakes. So in some ways, we kind of need to welcome mistakes, and it sucks because we're wasting shirts. But in some ways, I'm like, I learned from it because I learned what not to do. So I need to, you know, do something different and try to figure it out. And that's what I like about Tall. I like figuring it out. Uh, I mean, I'm not like super smart where I understand the chemistry behind everything, but you know, we know how to use logic. So um, just try to figure stuff out. And I've always liked trying to figure stuff out. I think it's fun. I like a good challenge. Okay. Gotta kind of help this back end so that this will stay on the line. And then here's where you start getting some cool wrinkles and stuff. So that's cool. That stayed right where I wanted it the whole way. And then this will should roll up and I'll kind of pull that tight so I can stay on the line. I'm getting all over the place. Sorry. Uh, let's see. It's getting tight. Look at that. Tighter than a drum. Let's roll a shirt, says everybody these days, huh? Okay, so that's exactly, see, you remember how my tag felt? I'm gonna leave it just like that. You can see my line running through it. I'm gonna bend at the line and put that line right in the center, just like that. Okay, so it looks pretty similar as the other one. Um, use my little, whoa, rubber band. And I just use one rubber band. Um, you can do whatever you want. I don't think it's going to matter. But I'll do the same thing, kind of lift it up and keep it flush with this one because if there's a little gap underneath here, and that's what I did with the other one. I remember this tag we tried to put underneath there. All right, easy peasy. Um, my bee throws turquoise and green. See, Jeff? I mean, everybody's is different. Yeah, the ice would probably be melted in 2 hours because when I batch outside, I put it in the black plastic. That's right. You said that. And you get really good saturation. Now, if you were to, Leaf, if you were to let your ice melt in like 65 degree temperature, it's going to melt really slow, and you would have could only imagine the results. They're going to be a lot different. So that's some of the kind of experimentation I like to do, and this will be fun too. So let me go ahead and grab my gutter. I already have my washcloths pretty much run out. Um, and this is all one. It still has a little bit of dye in it, but it's spot dye. It's not going to do anything. I know I could. just wring that out over a shirt and it's going to come out. I was wearing a white T-shirt last night and went to go rinse it and stuff sprayed up on it. It was a worksheet that I just made. I said, God on it, and then washed it, and it all came out like you would never even know anything splashed up on it. Well, this is all spot dyes, and I mean, um, I don't know. It's not gonna mess with anything. It never has. I've never noticed any um, bad effects from using a wet uh, washcloth that I previously used. And all it is to keep the ice from flying out of the end of the gutter. That's the only reason I use it. Okay. And then I'll have to look at my ice situation because there's my and grab a gutter. It's not very long. I don't need a long gutter. And I was telling, Leaf and I were talking right before he left, and I gave him a couple gutters. I have easy access to gutters. My good friend owns a gutter business, and I'm out there quite a bit, so I can just be like, he has a pull behind trailer. It's got tall walls on it. He throws all the scrap gutter in it, anything he takes off. They make scrap. They make scrap pretty much every day. And when they get to the end of the coil, they call it a coil, and it's just sheet metal basically rolled up in a coil, up in a roll, and it rolls off into a gutter maker, and it bends it. And when they get like 10 feet or something like that, they just cut it off and he throws it in a scrap. So a lot of these gutter guys have scrap sitting around. So you can always call your local gutter guy and see if you can go through their scrap. And sometimes they'll just give it to you. Um, they might charge you a little bit, but it's going to be cheaper than Lowe's, you know. But I'll go through my friend's scrap, and there's all kinds of brand new. It's just they recycle it. They don't get a bunch of money for it. So if you're taking 10 feet, they're not going to give a crap about that. You know. So it's something to think about. The most they can say is no. You can always just call and see what they say. Okay, so this is going to be rather easy. I don't have to be real uh, precise with my dye. You know, I'm not going to have a bunch of wasted, and I'm probably not going to have a lot of excess dye sitting on top. More than likely. Um, but I'm going to have to put a little bit of. I'm going to still have to use a good amount of dye because that's a lot of rolls. If I want that to be saturated, I'm going to have to not be gentle with it. Um, I don't want to overpower it, but I don't want to, you know. So let me get my salad bowl, my ice. And I'm not going to add any more soda ash. The first one, we didn't add any extra soda ash. We just, uh, and you see a lot of people, actually, I see most people sprinkle more on top of it. Um, I've just here recently just been deciding not to. I mean, I let the stuff soak for I don't know how long. Um, so we're going to add, when you think about the amount of ice I want to use, I'm going to need it to be, see, I'm going to need it to saturate. Um, I did just regular psychedelic rolls with dye over ice. I'll just treat it as like that. Okay. So I'm going to back it down just a little bit, just in case it wants to slide. It's not going to have a far way to slide. Um, don't have to be real easy with that. Okay, so remember, it's going to taper down. So I need a lot of ice up here, not near as much down here. Okay, so just go ahead and build that up right there. And be honest with you, I bet you I could probably get away with that, but I don't trust it, man. But tomorrow, when I get up, this will all be melted. Um, at least it should be. It usually is. And I do tie dyes later than now. And so um, if there's any white that bend, I don't need to worry about it white down here. I just don't foresee that happening. If I'm going to have any white, it's going to be at the top of this knob where I bent it. If tomorrow, if I go upstairs before I go to work and there's white on the bottom, I'm going to add more ice. Let's do, let's just push dye through it. So I'm not going to flip it. I'm just going to add more ice and more dye on top of, the way it's sitting in the gutter right now. Let me put some more ice in that. So I'm just letting you know what I'm going to do because, I can't go live again tomorrow morning and do like Steph and I would do every now and then. We'd do after the ice melts and see if we need to do anything. If we needed to add more ice or more dye or whatever, we were showing the whole process, um, which is cool. I really liked it. Um, but I'm just going to go ahead and just let you know what I'm going to do instead of doing that. I don't have time. I'll be at work and all that anyway. Okay, so I like that. Okay, I got some big chunks right there. I don't want to touch it too much. Okay, because if the heat off my hands, it's going to make that stuff instantly start splitting, and I don't want it to really do that. I want it to be kind of sit on top of the ice for a second. Okay, so here's my dice pen B, Mindbender B, and be careful handling your dice. You don't want to drop it. And when I do die over ice, a lot of times uh, I keep it up off the ice a little bit, and it seems to spread out a little more evenly. Now you can see how it's some of it's sitting on top and some of it's splitting blue already. I don't know if that's a bad thing, but usually it sits just like that, because it's been in my deep freezer for days. Okay, so remember I need to go kind of heavy, not super heavy, but I have a lot of rolls to go through. And if I have to do the whole thing again, I'll do the whole thing again. But I feel like if I have any saturation issues, it's going to be at the top. Like I could probably not go real hard down here because if you go the harder you go, the light colors get ate up, you know, and your dark colors, your primary colors are going to stick out, reds and blues, and like your yellow is going to get ate up. Yeah, your reds and blues probably just turn to purple. I mean, if you go too hard, maybe not. I don't know. I'm just talking. It seems like that's happening, but I don't want to overdo it and not have. I'd love to see some lighter colors come out, but this is an experiment. And if I have any white, I'll add more ice and dye. Now this, I got a lot sitting on top, so it's still going to. It still has some melting to do. You know what I mean? Like this wasn't just fresh ice, so it just hit and kind of dissipated, or yeah, I wouldn't even know what to call it, just kind of melted, like instantly melted that ice. Usually spray or spread soda ash and Glover salt on top of it. The Glover salt I use in the wintertime because that helps with the speed of my ice melt. Uh, Drop containers of deep yellow. Holy crap. Okay, I'm calling the local gutter. No doubt, man. Do it seriously. Thank you for the gutter. Absolutely, man. Do you whip it, Scott, after the first ice melt? Do I what now? Amy Skinner. Now that everything is rolled up, lick the adhesive and seal it. Oh wait. No doubt. Um, we twist the big one up. Yeah, the ice would probably be melted 2 hours because when I batch outside. Yeah. Okay. So we're caught up with this. Every now and then I have to check this because you never know if somebody asks a question that I don't want to miss out on a good question and something we could kind of think about. But yeah, call a gutter guy and see if you can buy some scrap, buy them or uh, just have it. You know what I mean? Good. I could see him just giving you a 10-foot piece. I mean, I don't really see him giving a crap about it. And the good thing is, these are 5-inch gutters. If I want, I can pull out 6-inch gutters, and they're an inch taller, so they're going to be, an inch taller on the back and the front. I just don't really feel the need right now that I need them. Actually, it probably wouldn't be bad for these rolls, but I'm going to call that. I'm going to call that done. I still have a lot of dye sitting on top. Um, like I said, if I need to put more on the bottom, or if I need to put more on because of the white, I show her. Hell yeah, boy! You can flip. I dropped me. Oh, flip it. Okay, okay. Do I flip it, Scott, after the first ice melt? Leaf, usually I don't, man. I feel like my saturation's usually pretty good because I use a bunch of dye and a bunch of ice. I mean this gutter's like flush at the top, so it's 5 inches of ice melting pretty quick. So um uh so I'll just kind of call it here because I don't need to like go upstairs and do all that with you. I'm just going to do the exact same thing. It's going to be just a tad bit steeper. The dye under ice is. Um, so the dye over ice is going to be not as steep, just a little bit. Results on Thursday. So today is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yes, the results would be on Thursday. Okay, so here's the thing. You've seen those batching charts. When Ken and I did Ken Up and I did a shirt. His was done in like 8 hours. It's super hot in his garage. Okay, I usually batch. Um, it's 100 degrees up in my attic, and I'll still batch for 2 days. I just do it, and then you know what? Sometimes I'll even pour boiling water over it after it's been sitting up in there for 2 days at 100 degrees. I'll still do it. I don't know why. I just do it just in case. It's not hurting anything. You know what I mean? Um, a lot of times the ice that melts, I have it going into, well, in my ice maker, the ice that melts it goes into a 5-gallon bucket as my drip pan. And sometimes I just use that, or as much as I can, I use that water as my boiling instead of using just tap water. So this has got a lot of dye on it, man. I feel like we should have pretty good saturation there. Um, but we'll see in the morning. So you used extreme for the first time and did dye over ice and got turquoise and pinks. Okay, with dye over ice. Okay, cool. Because I haven't used extreme over ice. I've only done dye under ice. Now, I have a pound of it coming of extreme. Um, I had yeah, I batch on the dash of my black SUV on a day of full sun. It's 140 degrees. It's true, man. So at 140 degrees, um, in the center. Okay, so let's talk about that for a second. I see these batch times, and it'll say if it's 170 degrees, you only need 9 minutes. Come on, man. Seriously, there is no way that I'm just going to batch something for 9 minutes at 170 degrees, um, or whatever it was. I think it is 170 for 9 minutes. That means you're going to have to get the middle at 170 degrees. Look at this roll. You imagine trying to get the center of this roll at 170 degrees, or you know what I mean? And thinking that it's done in 9 minutes. There is no way. So you'd have to get the center to be that for 9 minutes. I don't trust that stuff, so I just let it go. For uh, Stephanie taught me to be patient. She would let stuff batch because she was working so much. She would let stuff batch 5, 6 days, just because she just couldn't get to it at the time. I don't see it over batching anything, you know what I mean? So, but with the temperatures that I have upstairs, I probably could get away with it being done tomorrow night and pouring boiling water over it, but I won't do that. So we'll do a batch. We'll let it go for 2 days. Uh, he bashes on the dash of his SUV at 140 and he still lets it go for 2 days. Me too. It's best just to be, I feel it's best just to be patient. We're doing ice dye. So if we start doing ice dye, I hate to really turn it into a hot water irrigation dye as soon as the ice melts. Now, my wife does, and she gets great results. You would never know that she's pouring boiling water over it, you know? Um, but I just let it go for 2 days and be patient and see what happens, you know? I feel like I put in so much work. I want to make sure to get it as saturated as possible. So I'll do 18 or 60 days at 100 degrees. Yes, makes total sense. I miss Stephanie too. We talked just the other night, and she's trying to get everything in order. Um, Start tie dyeing again. Um, So um, everybody try to help push her into getting tie dyed, get into her tie dye again. Um, Maybe I don't know. I just wish the best for her. I hope that she comes back. I always have fun tie dyeing with her. Um, I've always learned a lot from her. She taught me to tie dye. Her and Angie from Fun Endeavors, straight up. I watch them too, pretty much solely. And then the other guy, I always forget his name. See, there's Fun Endeavors and Casual Collisions. I watched him quite a lot too, and I learned a lot from them. There was a couple other people that I watched every now and then. A little bit of Mr. Tie Dye, but I don't really. It was more for folds. I don't liquid dye, so I never really did. Um, yeah, chatted with her every once in a while. Yeah, yeah, we need to push her in the direction of getting back into tie dye. It's good for the soul. It's good for your mind. It's good for our body. I feel. You know, it makes me use my brain. And I love science and stuff, and I love art, and so this is the dye over ice. The other one's dye under ice. We'll see the differences in this, and I'm really curious. I'm glad we did this, and maybe I should start doing some more experiments. I always say that I'm going to, and I never do. So um, maybe we can start doing some more experiments. And then I think he said to start doing more videos, and uh, I will. I had fun not that I don't have fun, but I wasn't in the least bit nervous this time. The last 4 I've done, I've been so nervous. You wouldn't believe how many times I've gotten completely ready to, do a live, and I kind of freak out a little bit, and I turn my lights off, take my phone down, and go upstairs and start watching TV. I don't know, I've been getting some, like, anxiety going live, but I felt really good tonight. Yeah, kinda like stage fright, but I've done a bunch of videos, so I don't know what happened. Um, I don't know, but, it's not so much stage fright, I don't know, but yeah, we'll definitely do more experiments, and if you guys wanna see some stuff, um, and I can do it, we'll do it. I mean, I'm not afraid to do, like, a couple, uh do a shirt a couple times and then go live. I mean, I don't care because my process is always changing, so, um, thanks, Skate. I appreciate that, man. Um, yeah, and everybody that's what everybody says, "Don't be nervous," you know, but when Steph and I first went our first live, we had, it was never under 150 people watching, and I was nervous. Oh boy, let me tell you. Just don't wanna say the wrong thing. There was a guy that came through, and he was being a jerk. He was saying some rude stuff, man. And then we kind of thought, what do we do about that? You know what I mean? Anybody come through and start saying anything. Um, but okay, so dye over, and you can see it's getting darker and darker. It's starting to melt down here a little bit. Um, so thanks, Skater Dye. Um, Vana, I appreciate you. Um, thanks, man. It's nice to be able to talk shop, you know? Like, with talking with Leaf yesterday, we really we what were we, an hour and a half, maybe, talking, um, and I learned a lot, so it's nice to be able to talk shop, and I told him I was thinking about maybe trying to do like, an ice dye jamboree sometime. That would be really fun, like, just have a central location and, like maybe a national forest or something like that where it's free camping and stay for 5 days and have fun and tie dye and party down and have a good time, I think it would be fun. So, let's, I might consider doing that sometime. Uh, which ice dyeing's not gonna be the easiest to, like, try to do and rinse outs and stuff like that, but I guess it would be that way with any kind of tie dye. You have to rinse it out, but I don't know. Uh So let's we'll have thanks, Leaf. You're cool too, man. I had such a good time, man. Jeff's got 70 acres. We have 500. And I actually thought about that, but there is some people that live out there. I don't know how they would feel. And I'm in West Virginia. I don't know how central that would be. It would just be kind of an East Coast thing unless people want to fly in or whatnot. But I think it would be really fun, man. Kind of like um, the tie dye. I don't even know what they are. They're like parties that people have uh, in the summertime. It's kind of like a music festival and stuff. Um, but I think it'd be fun with ice dyeing, just because I don't hear of that. You know what I mean? So um, yeah, the mountains. So I'll see you guys on Thursday night, and we'll do a reveal and see how these turn out. Hopefully they come out all right. If not, we can look and see what we did wrong. Look and see what I did wrong, talk through it, and maybe I'll need to add more ice or start flipping that because some of this I was doing some flipping when I first started doing the rolls, and I was having really good results. And I get stuck in, uh, like, I'll start changing my process a little bit, and then I get stuck in that. And it's easy. I'm a creature of habit, but then I'll change it, and then I stay in that habit for a while, and I have to look back at what I was doing to try to get. I mean, I want to grow. If you don't grow, you die, so um Thursday night, it's a date. All right. So I'll be here all night talking so I have to get off here. All right. We don't need a 3-hour video. Um so have a good night. It is 8:30 here. So if you go out, I'll just say it again. I say it every time. If you go out and get a little trashed, call an Uber, don't drive. It's not worth it. I work with people that have DUIs and it has ruined their lives. It's not worth it. Uber and all that stuff is just way too easy now. So do the responsible thing, and everyone's kids are out on the road too. So, all right. I love you guys. I appreciate it. I had a blast. Like I said, I wasn't nervous this time. So we'll do a reveal on Thursday, and then we'll try to do some more, come up with some more stuff, and I don't know, maybe try some different roles. I've been having a lot of fun with roles, but I'm telling you, it's eating my die up. I mean, straight up eating my die up. Um, but the results are killer, man. I mean, daggone. All right. So we'll see you Friday night. Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Kaleido Die. Leaf, I appreciate you always. Jeff, always appreciate you. Vonda, you're always here. I appreciate it. Amy Schooner, I we are your friends. Absolutely. So a lot of you guys are showing up at when I do lives, and I really appreciate it. All right. So we'll do it again Thursday, and then maybe over the weekend. Or I usually don't like to do stuff on the weekend because Kelly's off on the weekends, and she's working right now. So um, I don't have to worry about my Wi-Fi. If she's watching Netflix or something, it kind of eats my Wi-Fi. I did have a gig and then got rid of the gig. I wasn't doing videos, so I didn't feel like I needed it. So I usually do live videos when she's at work. I can sit down here and kind of do my own thing. So I'll see you guys on Thursday night. Have a good night, and we'll do some more tie dyeing. All right. So have fun tie dyeing, and if you guys do any of these, I don't know if you can post a picture in the comments. You probably can't. I don't know. I've never tried it, to be honest with you, but um, same as my YouTube, Scott Rad Dice Walker on Facebook. Um, Send me a friend request if you're not too weird, you know. Um, I don't want to be getting scammed and stuff, but yeah, I'm on all the groups in Facebook, and try to make a presence there and share my art and help other people um, try to get better at tie dyeing faster than what they could if they didn't wasn't watching videos. So um, have a good night, and I'll see you guys on Thursday night. All right, peace out.